Hey guys, Steven here, Fanatic Perspective. John Tran back in the building. Another week of previews. Now in week 3 already, getting ready to face the University of Texas El Paso Miners team that's coming into DKR 1-1 this Saturday. We will have a 3:15, 3:30 start this time, so we're not first game that's not at 11 a.m., but it's also not a night game, so it's going to be one of those midday heaters, right? But coming into this game, Texas, as of right now, at least when we're recording, is still a 41 and a half point favorite, Tran. And a lot of storylines, some cool storylines in this matchup. But how are you doing? What's been going on? How's everything going on your end?
Everything's going good. We're 1-1. Like I said, these are the three get right games before we kick off the SEC schedule. And one thing that Sark pointed out in his presser was like, "Hey, who has an AP vote here? How many SEC teams are in the top 25 right now? It's 11. So anyone who says that we have a weak schedule, I mean, we have it coming. It's coming fast too. So I mean, it's gonna. We need to get right, and there's a lot of little bugs that we need to fix within the next couple, like 3-4 weeks that we have.
I agree with you. We got to focus on us right now. Last year we could have the scheduled conversation because we were playing really good ball on different sides of the ball where we were handling our business, so we could indulge in those conversations. Right now, I don't care about strength of schedule at this point because we got a lot of stuff to clean up,
Mm-hmm.
and it's on film. The good thing is we still have time. We still have two more games like this, and the third thing is as you look around the country, and this is why I'm like Texas. If not now, then when? Look around the country. All right, everybody was last week on here was like, "Hey, we got to get." And look, I'm not going to reduce the importance of the Florida game because they lost. I am not doing that. Okay, please, Tran. I know you're with me on this. I'm talking to
No,
people out here.
yeah,
Okay, please understand that the Florida loss in context, yeah, it means that are they this big bad wolf? No, they're beatable like we thought they were. And USF proved that in the swamp. So that also tells me we shouldn't have any excuses on why we can't execute and do our thing when we go down there the first week of October. But that being said, that doesn't mean that Florida is some pushover now and they don't our mind goes to Oklahoma. Okay? Like they are still the SEC opener. They are still the focus after we get through this stretch. But the main focus right now is these next two games, UTEP and Sam Houston, of just getting confidence, getting right, right? I think to your point, Tran, we started to see some of that this week with Arch, 5 touchdown performance. Parker Livingston, SEC Freshman of the Week, 2 touchdowns, 128 yards. So there's some things that they got right coming out of the Ohio State game, but we have a lot to build on, Tran, as we continue to ramp up, in my opinion.
agreed. We definitely have a lot to build on. I think you said earlier that we're a 41 and a half point favorite, which I think is crazy from the production that we've seen the past 2 weeks. Like we weren't able to score 41 points last week. So I mean, let's keep it real. I mean, from what you were telling me about UTEP on your prep and everything like that, you have a big feeling that UTEP's better than San Jose State. So
Yeah, and I think that's a good thing. I don't want to be playing, you know, I want decent enough bump to where we.
ramps us up for
Yeah, yeah.
competition.
Like I don't want to be just. It doesn't help me playing terrible teams. It helps confidence wise, I guess, for the kids to see them have success, but that's not the standard that we even practice against, right?
Now
So
I got a question. Like I don't know if you've been posed this in the other chats that you're in on. Do you think that there was just a hangover from the game before?
I think there was. I think my question is why you lost. Why aren't you coming out there on a home opener with your hair on fire? Because they didn't start the game that way.
Yeah, they didn't.
But to answer your question, they're obviously until the 83-yard touchdown, they clearly looked hungover.
Yeah, no, I'm just saying it because it looked like it was Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde on the offensive line from week over week. I thought they had a pretty good game against Ohio State.
Sure, especially in the run game. Yeah,
I'd probably give them a D for their grade for their offensive line group for San Jose State. And it's no disrespect to San Jose State, but I'm assuming it's pretty majority that Ohio State is a better defensive line than them. It's like that's one of the things that I'm holding on to. That it was just like one of those days that they like, oh, we could beat them with short talent, and they came in. With that said, does that make me happy as a fan? No, it doesn't. I want them to go in there and just dominate from get-go. You know that from the history of this podcast is like I want to just beat a team where we could see a whole bunch of other players play and get
early.
experience.
Yeah,
yes, early.
Yeah, I mean last week when you're looking at 28-0, 12:56 left in the second quarter. I mean, you're thinking we're going to get guys in the third quarter.
Yep.
This should be I saw Derek Johnson talking about this on Third and Longhorn, and shout out to those guys. They do a great job. Rob B, Fozzie, all those guys. But Derek Johnson was like, back in the day, you up 28. He said that's a 60. We putting up 60. Like on the sidelines, he was like, when we were in the 2000s, 28-0 in the second quarter, we think it's 60. Like that, and I'm like, damn, that's the mentality that we kind of are missing right now. Like that's what everybody should like. Nah, blow these dudes. Like, let's get this work in right now.
I feel like we have that mentality on defense.
Yes, I agree.
I really do. I want
I
that
agree.
mentality
That's fair.
back on special teams as well. I think we're a little bit away from that to have it on offense. Just from what I've been seeing, just rewatching film and everything like that. That there's a lot we could fix. With that said, it is fixable errors that we're doing.
True.
Yeah.
True. Now, when we talk about those fixable errors, I mean, I think a lot of the stuff that has come out has been, technique. Why are guys on the ground so much, right? Paul and Ian and my boy Texas Homer, they did a great film study over on Inside Texas. But this is just stuff that's just clearly out there. And you can kind of see some of the stuff, even if you rewatch the TV broadcast and really, really start to pay attention and focus on certain areas. If you want to just focus on the line during rewatch, you notice these things. I mean, one of the things that Paul and Ian called out was that's frustrating and we need to talk about it. You're coming out there with 10 people on goal line. And we've talked ad nauseum, I know on this channel, but everywhere in the Texas Longhorn community, the Texas Longhorn multiverse, everybody is focused on goal line. We came into the season, the head coach was joking about it, but then got serious and was like, well, yeah, that's also where our season ended. You would think that's where they would be the most buttoned up. They would spend more time on that. That's where I'm concerned, where I'm like, that little area there where you're missing a tackle on the field and you're 10 guys and you're getting stuffed by San Jose State. That's where I'm like, they look poorly coached in that area. Like that's a mess. I agree with Tran. Those are fixed. Here's the fix. Have 11 people on the field.
Where's the communication at though, too, on the field? Like if you're
right, Spencer Shannon and Connor Stroh should know that somebody's missing.
You don't normally stand next to me.
I mean, the week before in the Ohio State game, we rush in the wrong personnel group to run QB sneak. And then the coach after the game says, "Yeah, I should have called a timeout to get the right personnel on the field."
You should have.
That's back-to-back weeks
Yeah.
where bullshit like that is happening in scoring position. Why are we taking those moments for granted?
No,
When is that?
it's not only this week is to me is a little bit even worse because it's right after a turnover and you have a break in play because they sit and watch to make sure where the ball was.
Right,
You
off the
get
Trey Moore
extra
scoop.
you
Mhm.
get extra time to have your personnel out there. That's inexcusable at this level, especially when you've gone deep into the playoffs 2 years in a row. It's inexcusable.
10 guys on the field off of a turnover. So we've got to be better. I mean, and the coaches have to be better. It's not just the players. That to me is on the staff. It makes you question like what is being worked on, right? Like what are they developing? Why are we having some of these things? Why are guys falling down all the time? So those things got to get cleaned up ASAP. That's something right now, just off of what has been highlighted. Because I will say this: the good news is even with some of the missed throws that Arch had, and I'm just going to be. At this point in his career, he's going to miss some stuff. It is what it is. He ramped to me this week, and I thought he actually played really good ball for most of the game. Um, and I like Arch the playmaker. I like Arch when he's using his legs and just playing the game instinctively is what I mean. Um, I think that's a good thing, and I think that's something that can continue and needs to be a part of our offense. Is just us being comfortable with the type of quarterback that he is. And we can make money with that. We can make money with the tight ends and the receivers and all that. So that's a good thing. But what we can't have is people getting in the way and falling down and getting penalties. And we're living in 2nd and 15 and 2nd and 20. We're not full menu calling plays at that point, even against the bad teams. So we want to make sure that we clean those things up so we're in at least a more advantageous position for Arch to attack the defense. It's hard to attack a defense trend when you're in 2nd and 20. You know what I mean? Like it's different when it's 2nd and 3 and the defense is like, I don't know if they're going to run or pass, right? Like totally different mindset. So that stuff needs to get cleaned up. And the last thing I'll say is this: you said it too. The defense is playing well, man. Even with some of the penalties and the nitpicky stuff, Anthony Smith went out there and had himself a ball game. Okay, the defensive tackles are balling. Watson stepped up this week. Michael Taft, they're using him. They're kind of using Taft like a mini Caleb Downs now, where he's just like a rover field safety in the middle. And he's causing all sorts of problems for these quarterbacks that you can't notice. It's like when the quarterback doesn't pull the trigger because Taft is there and you see them throw the ball out of bounds. You don't realize that that's because of Michael Taft because he doesn't get a stat for that. You know what I mean? But when you start watching the film, you're like, oh, that's why he didn't work slant.
Yeah.
Taft is he's just squatting in the middle of the field, and then we're allowing our speed on the outside to handle everything else, right? I mean, Grayson Littleton got that work this week. He got targeted more than anybody else, but I think that's a beautiful thing for him coming off. That was the best time for him to get humbled was coming off the Ohio State game. So there's a lot for us to work with defensively. I just don't big picture. I don't want to waste this defense again, bro.
Nope.
I don't, because I think they are championship level.
They are. They are. And we're fortunate enough to have this to let our offense act. Not necessarily, they're not going to catch up to the defense. Let's curb those expectations.
I don't expect them to.
Yeah. But they can bump up to a top 50 team offense. They can.
They should be a top 30 offense at minimum. At minimum.
I know you're
with
saying
the personnel.
I know you're saying that now, but I would take a top 50 offense.
I mean, Jesus, man. I know, because there's certain things we're not going to be able to. We're just going to have to live with some of the habits
Yeah,
and things.
this is the point of the episode where Tran talks out of his ass a little bit because I don't know where we are from an offensive standpoint.
Well, I do. I can pull. Hey,
We
we
could be
want
a
to.
top 50 offense, but to me, we're not running like a top
You
50
said
offense.
this is the point of the episode where Tran talks out of his ass. That's hilarious. I mean, all right. You want to see? We can pull this shit up.
Let's do
Let's do it. Let's do it. Let's see if Tran was actually talking out of his ass or not.
it.
All right, I'm gonna. This is riveting, riveting stuff
Impromptu.
here. 71st in scoring,
Bam.
53 in yards. Now this is 2 games.
Yeah, it's 2 games.
This is 2 games, but 110th on third down. We're converting 26.
Horrible.
Rushing isn't too bad. We're 48th.
Let's go back to that third down conversions. That goes back to what you originally said was we can't shoot ourselves in the foot. There's been third and manageables that we've shot ourselves in the foot, and that could flip that stat around.
Oh yeah, Ohio State game. You called it out when I was watching with you in the crib at your house. You're like, 3rd and 6 can't become 3rd and 11, guys. That's a totally different situation. 3rd and 6, I can run my offense. 3rd and 11, now I'm like, got to eliminate 2/3 of what I want to do, and we got to, either keep people in to pass block or get the ball out quick because they're going to bring pressure. Like, you're limited. So, I mean, again, this is two games in, so these are really, really raw numbers. To me, the numbers won't really be solidified until the first month, I'd say, of games. But you can't hide red zone scoring. Tran, I say it all the time, we were 111th last year in red zone scoring in the country. There's only 136 FBS teams.
Yep.
Right now, you're 110. 50% of the time you score in the red zone.
Yes, we moved up a spot. There's positive. That's positive.
Progress.
We're moving in the right direction.
Progress, baby. Take that. Now, down here is nasty. Okay? The penalties. The penalties is, I mean, we're one of the most penalized teams in the country right now. That
doesn't usually have a high success rate for championships, buddy.
No. So, yeah. All right. So you weren't really talking out your ass. We're in the 70s offensively. But that's what I'm saying. Like historically, when I say historically, I'm talking about just the last few years with Sark. We've been like last year we averaged, I think, right underneath 35 points per game. I mean, I can look that up. I think we were in the 30s in terms of scoring. Like, that should be. We have an offensive-minded head coach and somebody that people say is one of the best offensive minds in the game. Okay, so we finished 29th in scoring in 2024. And then in 2023, we were 15th. So last year, we averaged 33 points per game. And the year before, we averaged 36 points per game in 2023. To me, even with Arch being first time starter this year, that needs to be the goal still. There's too much talent on this team. And Arch is going to become a plus asset. Like, at some point we're going to start talking about the experience. If he continues to grow, like I think he will grow. because one of the thing with talented players is they also ramp quicker than the average player.
Yeah.
And I do expect Arch to continue to ramp quicker, especially with the things I'm seeing now that I'm encouraged by, that he's starting to recognize and do. And he's not dumb. You don't think he sees these people falling down all the time and stuff? I think that's another reason why in his mind, half the time he's like, well, shit, I got to make a play because we run the ball twice on 2nd and 8 and we get pushed back. Now I gotta create to keep the chains alive. Like that pressure can come his way too. He sees what's going on. So stuff got to get cleaned up these next 2 games, y'all. That's the point.
Yep.
Let's move to UTEP. So Malachi Nelson, starting quarterback, was a highly lauded recruit in the 2023 class. Was top 5. He was Lincoln Riley guy, USC, and there was a lot of movement in that 2023 class, right? I mean, Arch was the number one. OU fans try to erase their original boy Jackson Arnold, who won the Elite 11, now at Auburn. You had Dante Moore, who went to UCLA to play for Chip Kelly, who's now starting quarterback for Dan Lanning and the Oregon Ducks. Dante Moore looks pretty good so far. Nico, we know Nico went to Tennessee. He's now losing games at UCLA left and right. I mean, just keeping it a buck. Then you got Malachi, right? Like that was kind of the group of guys. Of those, all of them were like 5-star guys, right? And we're not even getting into like the Eli Holsteins of the world who went to Bama and now he's lighting it up at Pittsburgh, or Marcel Reed, that was a 4-star that went to A&M. Like there was a lot of people, a lot of quarterbacks in that group. Sam Levitt was in the top 10 of that group. Arizona State quarterback who originally went to Michigan State. So all these guys have transferred except for Arch. Arch is the only one. Marcel Reed too. But Arch is like of the top guys, right? He's the only one that stayed. Now, Malachi's journey has been interesting because he went from USC to Boise State, didn't win the job, right? Maddox Madsen wins that job. We know what Boise State went and did with Ashton Genty, all that. Malachi has now found his way to UTEP. I forgot the other person in that class. There were so many quarterbacks. Jalen Rashada, who was at Florida.
Yeah.
And almost got Billy fired. And then then he went to Arizona State. Then he went to Georgia. Now he's a starting quarterback at Sacramento State for our guy, Brennan Marion. So these guys have bounced around, dude. But Malachi is who we're going up against this week. It's going to be really interesting. Very talented player. There's a reason why he was a 5-star. I like the way he moves in and out of the pocket. His footwork is really good. He has a very quick release. He can throw downfield. He's athletic. There's a lot there. And Malachi's playing good ball this year. So far, they're 1-1. But his touchdown interception ratio right now is 5 touchdowns to just 1 pick. And honestly, his yards, his attempts look nearly identical to Arch. The only difference, Arch has like 1 more interception. But like their stats are oddly similar. Both guys threw 4 touchdown passes last week. Arch threw 4 against San Jose State, ran another win. Malachi Nelson threw 4 against Tennessee Martin, and they blew those guys out. So it's going to be an interesting matchup. Like Tran said, I don't know about that 41.5. I think Malachi Nelson's going to have some moments where he is going to be able to move the ball. I think he's better than Walker Eggett, who we saw last week, just natural arm talent wise. But our defense is going to be able to hold up pretty well. I mean, my thing with UTEP is I think they're a better, more disciplined team. I think they have more guys that are going to be more comfortable being on the field with Texas guys, but they're slow. They're really slow defensively. I think there's going to be some plays where just a simple angle will be able to take some stuff to the house. So I expect us to win by a decent margin. My thing is this: are we going to be able to handle our business with the basic stuff so that we can get the young guys in, the people that we want to see? I want to see Khalid Lockett play more. I was encouraged by him catching a couple balls last week, Tran. What say you? Like, what are some things you want to really focus and emphasize this week against UTEP?
Defensively, I want to focus on getting them into third and mediums to third and longs because they have almost mirrored us in like their third down efficiency. I think they're like 3 out of 10 plays they actually convert on third down. I want to get that. Their points per game, I think, is around like 30 points per game or something like that. I think, honestly, if our defense holds them to 17 points, we win this game by 3 possessions. I do want to jump on them early and just leave no doubt. Be like, we are Texas. Y'all are UTEP. Y'all aren't here. Enjoy the $500,000 we're paying you to come over here. Enjoy it. You can go back to El Paso with a lot of the people from Central Texas having their families getting to see them play and come into the stadium and experience that. But get better week over week. That's what I want to see. I hope it's not like a wet game like it was the this past Saturday, because it was raining on and off. No one really was talking about that much. But I hope it's a clean game so we could actually see our offense our entire offense, where we don't see drops or stupid errors like that come into play with weather games. Yeah, but that's what I want to see. Like I know I feel very comfortable that we're going to win this game. 41.5 points, I don't feel comfortable with. So if I was a betting man, I'd definitely pick the under, because I don't think we can score enough points to cover that 41 points.
And that is based upon what we have seen from them so far, right, in 2025. Are they capable of covering the 41.5 points? Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. If they show us the explosive team that we saw for that 5-minute stretch in San Jose State and played like that half the game, yeah, they'll cover. But Tran's right. Until you show me that, and you show me that you can, on a change of possession, have the right amount of people on the field, basic things. Right now, that's what we're struggling with. Are very basic things on the offense that we have to get cleaned up. And we're just highlighting those things now, because if they don't get cleaned up, they will become very, very big problems in SEC play. And I'm gonna give you guys a team that I'm a little concerned about down the road that I don't think a lot of people are talking about. But in regards to this particular matchup, I'm with you, Tran, about what you said about dominating the start of the game. I need to see better energy starting this football game. I thought it was a little disrespectful, quite frankly, that they were in cruise control to start last week's game for a home opener. I don't care who the opponent is. They didn't come out there with belt to ass energy until Parker made that big play.
Mm-hmm.
I'd like to see them come out, because we have to emphasize the key situational moments of the game. I am paying very close attention to that moving forward. Are you winning the beginning of the game? Are you winning that period going into halftime? When I say winning, I'm just saying that period of time. Did you execute and do everything you should be doing, whether you have the ball or whether you're on defense? What do you look like coming out of halftime? I don't care if we're up 42-0 at halftime. Do you come out, execute, go on a scoring drive, get a stop, whatever, right? And then how we finish, obviously finishing the football games is the most important. So, yeah, I'm paying attention to that, because I know they'll dominate the middle eights. Like that's where the talent really people can't hang with so-and-so for so long, but we got to see, guys like that perform better. Now, in terms of actual players, just throw some names out there. I mentioned Khalid Lockett. The reason why I'm mentioning guys like that is I don't think DeAndre Moore is going to play. He has a concussion. So I probably think they sent him. This is just me being totally speculative based upon how he left last week and knowing he has a concussion.
Well, I mean, you saw
So,
what they did with Trey, right? They were very cautious with Trey.
and
So
Trey's not going to play this week.
yeah, I mean, so they're going to be. I think for these next two games, they're going to be very cautious with any type of nagging injuries. It's a very one thing that you and I have touched on. It's a very long. Hopefully, it's a very long season. Hopefully, so like it could be a mirror to an NFL season, close to it, like a regular season for the NFL. And you got to have your dogs when it counts.
Mm-hmm.
So that's the important thing.
So with Demo, him being out, I expect. Now I'm excited to see what does Dalen McCutcheon look like in the slot with those reps. Great opportunity for him to get ramped. I'd like to see him get some targets. Some people are saying, and this is just to address those of you who have questions, has Demo disappeared? What's going on? Why haven't him and Arch been able to connect? Look, the start of both of these football games have been plays designed for who? For Demo. And we have not executed either one of them, and neither one of them have been his fault.
Yep.
The ball got thrown in the dirt, and he was open for a plus 30-yard play against Ohio State to start the season. We do a play, the jet sweep pass.
Yeah, push pass.
He gets 30 yards, and is called back for holding.
Yeah.
So, and then let's look at all the targets he's really gotten. They've either been screens that have been snuffed or really low percentage. Like he hasn't had a lot to work with. And then I can tell you in the Ohio State game, there were times where he was running crossers into space where he didn't get a target. So I'm saying that to say, with what I've seen from Demo going back to last year with Arch, I'm not worried about him long-term needing reps. I'm not. I think this is a fine point where he can get some rest and let Dalen McCutcheon show you some things. If there's somebody else you want to see play slot, now's the time. Emmett Mosley, I have no idea when he's going to be ready with the soft tissue stuff. Like Tran said, they're playing the long game. But Emmett does need reps because he hasn't practiced a whole lot. This is a new offense for him coming from Stanford. So do we see Emmett Mosley this week? I don't know. Hopefully we see him at least by Sam Houston. Because I'd like for him to have some reps with Arch before conference play. But these opportunities that are out here right now, even Wingo, like, can they get connected on those things? Can he be on the same accord with Arch and Arch with him? Or do we need to figure out different ways to use Ryan Wingo or what's most productive for the team? Now's the time to figure those things out. I expect mistakes. I expect them to not execute every single play, but the basics, the stuff that should reflect when you guys, we were ranked the number one team coming into the season for a reason. Let's not forget that. And I know that means nothing right now. It means nothing right now. But that does stick in the back of my mind in terms of what was expected of this team. Right? And what people, not just us, but people at a national level think that you have on your roster. Right? So we need to go find some of those guys. I'd like to see the tight ends feature more Nick Towson, more Amari Winston, more Jordan Washington. All those guys who played, they seem to be on a better accord with Arch. So I want to see those guys get some opportunities as well. Tran, anybody else that you want to mention before we get to predictions?
Get Jonah out there. Get Jonah out there.
You know what's funny? You mentioned Jonah.
I've been pushing
because I'd like to see him return kicks.
Mm-hmm.
That's what he was great at in high school. He was a award-winning kick returner.
He's a left fielder.
Right. And he's wild. He's got that Silas in him.
And he's fast. He's extremely fast. That's who I want to see. Like, honestly, I want to see that. I want to see us clean up a little bit in the red zone. I want to see our line a little bit up to speed again. You know, I would love to see our running backs have different alleys to make a play with, where they're not getting hit a yard behind line of scrimmage. Things like that. That's what I want to see.
Yep. What's your prediction?
Me, I predict. I'm going to say 14-31.
I mean 31-14 Texas?
Yeah, Texas, yeah.
All right.
Of course, I'm picking Texas on this game.
No, when you started out 14, I was like, we only gonna score 14 points? That's crazy.
No.
31-14. I'm going to go oof. I think I'm going to go 41-13 on this. I think we're a little bit more, our scoring is a little bit more spread out. But we still have some lulls that we got to work out. I don't think everything's going to get fixed in 1 week.
But this has been a tale as old as time with Sark, is that we've been able to score a lot and then we just have like a drought.
Mm-hmm.
So.
But I do think we are going to come away being more and more encouraged with Arch. I think right now I'm going to say it, I think people are starting to sleep a little bit. I think the overcorrection has occurred where you have and I'm talking about narrative right now, right, on socials and stuff. So this is straight fan talk, but I think the Arch experience for Ohio State was so bad, or at least people are remembering it as so bad, which it all wasn't bad. I mean, he had some flashes in the game, let's be honest, but that I don't think people are realizing the growth and where he's not as bad a quarterback as people think he is. And I don't know. I think it's going to be in for a rude awakening come conference play, especially if he's unleashed and it's like, hey, you got to make plays for us, right? Right now, John Mateer of OU is that guy. Everybody's looking at him. He's the playmaker. He's been doing it all for his team.
Keep pumping them up.
So, keep pumping them up. Yeah, that's cool. Fun. That's cool. Hey, they saying Seth over here tagging me in tweets this week talking about Texas be better off with Jackson Arnold than Arch Manning. Okay, brother.
Keep pumping it up.
That's how you feel. That's how you feel.
Keep pumping up. I said that the Ohio State loss was the best thing for Texas when it happened. I think I told you that. I wasn't.
And I think it's still. I think that's still. All of those things can still be relevant. Mm-hmm. So, yeah, but let's clean up the ugly stuff. Let's at least do, at the minimum, let's at least do that. Let's make sure we have 11 people on the field on goal line, please.
Agreed.
That automatically we're going in the right direction. I will say this though, I did tease one team that has my attention now in the SEC. Mississippi State.
I knew it.
We need to talk about Mississippi State, bro, because they have some freak athletes on their team that could cause some issues. Now, I'm going to continue to watch Mississippi State, but now that they've beaten Arizona State, that was a big upset because a lot of people had Arizona State not only winning 10, but they had Arizona State winning the Big 12, which they still could.
Yeah.
But, this is a team that returned almost every single starter from that defense that gave us fits in the playoffs. Those boys went down there to Starkville. It goes to show that type of environment when that team is remotely competitive is a difficult place to play. When they're remotely competitive, so people need to take off the 2-10. That 2-10 Mississippi State Bulldog team, that is not this year's group. Okay? They got Darian Gillette over there now, Bubba, and he's healthy. And he was running around making tackles all over the place. And they got Malik Silla from A&M. It's like they got all these dudes from Tennessee, Texas, A&M, Georgia.
Didn't crack it, but
that were injured.
Yeah.
That are now healthy.
But one thing that you said specifically is like they've got dudes. They got dudes on the offensive side as well. And Jeff Lebby gets the ball in his playmaker's hands. He is a very good play designer.
One of those dudes used to play for us.
Yeah.
Miss Bonnie's son.
Mm-hmm.
And look,
Brennan
Bonnie's
Thompson.
son,
Didn't he get
Brennan Thompson.
winning touchdown?
Yes, he did. With 50 seconds left?
Yeah.
Brennan's a good football player now.
Yeah.
I don't want to hear no more Brennan Thompson jokes. Brennan, ever since he got married and put track behind him, and now he actually has like a more of a football body and trained. That, like, somebody at IT said it when he caught the first deep ball in that game and burned somebody. They're like, that's what Texas recruited when Sark saw it, because he is probably the fastest guy in the country. And now these first 2 games he's played at Mississippi State, well over 100 yards receiving, 2 touchdowns. Like, he's balling. Then on the other side, you got Anthony Evans, another 4.3 burner from San Antonio that went to Converse, who was at Georgia. Again, they hit the portal. Anthony Evans wasn't getting burned at Georgia. Now he's over there. He went over 100 yards receiving in that game. So I'm just saying, that's a team that has my attention. OU has my attention too, but my thing with OU is the more hype they get, the more we're going to play up to them. Because we play up and down to the competition too. So it's like, if they start getting gassed up, now all of a sudden we're going to handle them like Bama. You know what I mean? Like, that's the type of, but the team that people, some people are like, man, are you worried about Vandy? No, I'm not worried about Vandy. I think Vandy's going to get belt to ass because they've been running their mouth. Teams like that, but Mississippi State has been chilling. It's been radio silence out of there, and then they went and beat Arizona State. And they're probably going to start 4-0. They're going to be 4-0 before conference play because they played 2 more tune-up games. Yeah. So that's a team. I'm just saying, we need to be aware of it now to look out for on the schedule. These aren't pushovers like they were last year.
Yep.
They've gotten better. But that's good for us to be aware of that, right? When people want to talk about the schedule and all this type of stuff, well, that's the SEC team that just beat the defending Big 12 champions last weekend, right? So
agreed.
Y'all let us know in the comments what your predictions are for Texas versus UTEP, what you want to see cleaned up, who you want to see showcased. Last week was the story of Parker Livingston and Ty Anthony Smith. They were the players, them and Arch. Those 3 guys were the players of the game. Who's going to step up this week? Will it be one of the running backs? Does, with Trey Wisener not playing, we didn't discuss this trend. Does somebody like Jared Gibson get another opportunity to prove himself again? I mean, the ball security is a challenge, but he's also might be your best natural runner in terms of breaking tackles and making things happen. So stuff like that. Can he take advantage of opportunity and earn back the coach's trust? We'll see. We
will.
All right. Tran, I appreciate you, brother.
Appreciate you, man.
Remember, y'all, horns always up. Hit that subscribe button. It's free to show love. Like it. Horns always up. Peace.